Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a fabulous start. I am doing a little bit of batch filming today, so this background, my hair, my makeup, my top, it all looks very familiar from yesterday's video. If you missed it yesterday, I did upload a Bath & Body Works haul where I shared some candles, some laundry products, as well as some hand wash that I recently picked up. If you are curious about that video, I will go ahead and link it in the description box down below, so feel free to check that out after you are done with this video. But today we are talking all things candle hurricanes. So we're talking about glass. I actually filmed a candle hurricane 101 style video. I think it was back in 2022. But I want to update that video today because I also want to incorporate showing you guys how I actually clean my hurricanes and talk a little bit about how I care for these pieces in, you know, my like home fragrance collection. I recently came across a new to me product. This is not a new product, but this is a product that I recently decided to try out, and it just has given me the most perfect, clear, like streak-free look to all of my hurricanes, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. And since it's been a couple years since that video, let's redo it. Okay, so what is a candle hurricane? Do you need one? How do you use them? How often do you clean them? All that stuff. Let's get into it. First of all, this is an example of a hurricane. So this one here is I think it's the London Hurricane from Crate & Barrel. I have probably, I want to say that I have at least 5 or 6 hurricanes that I utilize around my house year round. I am someone who does tend to splurge on hurricanes, so I will buy the nicer ones from Crate & Barrel, or there's a few that I have from Pottery Barn. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that little interruption there. Stella is actually homesick from school today and she had a question. So let's get back to it. I believe I was talking about the London Hurricane from Crate & Barrel, but let's talk about like different places to purchase hurricanes before we get into some of the benefits of hurricanes. First of all, I tend to purchase a lot of my pieces from places like Crate & Barrel, Pottery Barn, West Elm. That being said, I usually only buy them when they are either on sale or on clearance. Now, what that unfortunately means is that most of the pieces that I have, I can no longer link for you. But you can find very similar pieces at a lot of different retailers, you guys. So one place that I would suggest starting at if you are on a really tight budget is to look at places like Goodwill, Salvation Army, or Deseret Industries. Both of those, you know, like secondhand type stores usually have a fair amount of things like hurricanes or, you know, different candle accessories. So absolutely worth checking those out. Next step up would be go check out Target, check out Walmart. They both totally have hurricanes available in some cute different styles. There's a threshold, I'm sorry, Alf is like snoring up a storm, by the way. There is a hurricane from Threshold that I have recommended a few times to several different people that I will link down below. You can find the Threshold brand at Target. I just think that it's a really beautiful, simple hurricane that looks stunning with a variety of like, you know, different home decor styles. Also, Marshalls, HomeGoods, TJ Maxx, Ross, they all have a ton of different accessories when it comes to home fragrance stuff, whether it's votive holders or bigger things like hurricanes. You can find a lot of really unique, interesting pieces at those particular stores. So even though it might be a little bit obnoxious to maybe hunt around, like my local HomeGoods, for example, like they always have a ton of different beautiful glass pieces, but they're just like all kind of like stuck on a shelf and you kind of have to dig through them. If you have the patience for it, you can find some beautiful pieces at those particular stores. And I would absolutely recommend checking them out because most of them are like $30 and under. So you don't have to spend what I spent on this Chester Hurricane at Pottery Barn. You don't have to spend what I spent at the for this London hurricane from Crate and Barrel, you can find much less expensive, beautiful, beautiful options. So anyway, those are some different retailers to think about checking out. But let's talk about the different reasons that you might want a hurricane, or the benefits, if you will. So I do have some notes written down for myself just because, I don't know, brain farts. Bear with me. Okay. The first reason that you might want to consider getting a hurricane is if you have a really drafty house. A lot of older homes do tend to be a little bit more drafty, and you can see that when you're burning your candles. Oftentimes the flames will kind of like be off center, and they'll just kind of flicker really heavily from side to side. It's just, you know, living in a drafty house. When I was growing up, especially when we lived in Germany, a lot of our houses that we lived in over there were, you know, 400 or 500 years old homes. It's funny because here in America, like, you know, you'll go like looking for real estate or something, and you see like a 50 or a 60-year-old home, and you think, wow, that's so old. I wonder what problems that home has. And in Germany, when I was growing up, like my grandparents' farmhouse was like 300 years old, you know. A lot of issues, a lot of things going on, and their house was quite drafty. So my Oma actually did have a number of hurricanes that she utilized for her candles. Now, my Oma did not go full on, you know, like home fragrance the way that I did. Like she mostly had like unscented candles, but she liked the ambiance. But yeah, a drafty home, you might want to think about getting a hurricane. It's going to help your candles burn a lot more evenly and prevent any tunneling or anything like that. So, for example, this one here, this is a great like draft prevention one for me because I utilize this one outside in our backyard. Now, I know that that sounds insane to some people that I burn home fragrance like outside in our backyard, but we have a covered patio. There is an outdoor fireplace out there, and we are in that covered patio area year round. Even when it's 30 degrees out in the winter, because we have the fireplace, we still sit out there, and I will light a candle. I don't know. I like that. I like the ambiance. I like the smells. It's nice. So this one here is great because it has really thick glass. So even if it's really windy out, or if there's like sideways rain or something, my candles are protected in here. And I cannot wait to see this on top of our new 12-foot farm table that I'm having Craig make for me. I've been obsessed with getting this like massive live edge farm table for our covered patio area with some really like nice comfortable seating around it. But man, this table has been a long time in the making. And I don't even think it's going to be done this year. I think next year. The wood is currently, we have the slabs, but it needs to be dried in a kiln just to make sure, you know, that it's like ready to actually be made into a table. But anyway, I'm so excited to place that on top of that live edge oak table that we're going to have back there. I think it's going to look so pretty. But yeah, it helps to avoid the drafts, even if you burn your candles outdoors. Okay, another reason that it might be really helpful for you to have a hurricane is to help actually trap the heat around the candle a little bit closer. Having the glass, the heat does reflect back towards the candle, and what that's going to do is it's going to help your candles not only pool out faster, but more evenly, but it's also going to help to have that happen faster. So if you're someone who works and you come home, say at like 6 o'clock at night, and you start to get ready for bed at 8, maybe you only have a couple of hours to enjoy your home fragrance. So utilize your hurricanes to help your candles pool out faster, to be able to experience the smells from the home fragrance, to, you know, amp up the ambiance a little bit, and just do it faster because, you know, you're busy and you need to get ready for bed soon. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there who love their home fragrance, but after they come home from work, like they don't necessarily think they have the time to be able to light a candle and for it to pool out completely before, you know, they have to head upstairs or back to their bedroom and, you know, blow out the home fragrance for the evening. So having a hurricane will help your candles pool out faster, which is going to be great for those of you that have a more limited burn availability, burn time availability, if you will. Okay, they can actually help to amp up the strength and throw. So if you have a candle in a hurricane, it's going to allow that candle to burn a little bit hotter. That is going to give you a deeper wax pool, which means that you are exposing more of those fragrance oils to be released into the air. And you are gonna get a stronger smell oftentimes from your candles. So if you have a candle that's maybe struggling on its own, try putting it in a hurricane. You might be able to smell it much better that way. You might be able to enjoy the fragrance a little bit more easily that way. So I do think that they help to amp up the strength and throw. Okay, they help to reduce the soot. But here's what I wanna say about that. If you are burning candles, no matter what, you are exposing your home and everyone in it to soot of like one level or another, if you will. There are some people who burn, you know, I know some people that will burn like 5 or 6 candles at a time. I stopped doing that a long time ago because in our last house, I was burning way too many candles for the size of the space, and the ceilings were so sooty. The crown molding was so sooty. The walls all covered in soot. I had to repaint everything. I had to repaint the ceiling, the crown molding, the walls, the baseboards. Everything had to get repainted at the last house because of the amount of candles that I was burning. And back then I wasn't really utilizing hurricanes per se. Hurricanes can help to trap some of that soot like on the glass, and I'm gonna show you here in a little bit how to get rid of it, but they can help to trap some of that soot on the glass. Are you still going to have some that, you know, goes off into your house somewhere? Yes. I think it's really important if you are a user of candles especially, you need to open your windows even during the cold weather months, and you need to air your house out periodically. During the winter, usually every other day, I will open the windows in the house for about 10-15 minutes. Now it gets pretty cold here in Oregon, so I can't really have them open for longer than that. But during the spring, during the summer, the windows are open all the time. I am a big fan of the fresh air, and I can tell you there is a big difference in the amount of soot that is collecting on my walls and ceilings here than we had at the other house. And I think for me, burning fewer candles, burning them in hurricanes, and airing my house out helped to reduce a lot of those soot problems. But just know, you are never going to completely eliminate the soot from your house, even with a hurricane. There's just, I don't know, there's give and take. Like, I hate to say it because I would love to be able to deny that, but no matter what, you're exposing your house to some soot. Even the cleanest burning candles are going to put off something in your house. So yeah, that's why I really stopped burning paraffin in the first place, is because I found that paraffin was like the messiest. And I think that probably did the most damage to our last house, because back then I was buying a ton of like the Yankee paraffin candles, and those were, they were awful. They were so messy. I really don't like paraffin anymore. Soy has been the cleanest burning for me. I think that has also definitely helped make a big difference here. But anyway, okay, sorry about that little interruption there. We were talking about soot, but next let's talk a little bit more about candle safety. So obviously if you have pets, if you have children, this is something very important to think about. I think that hurricanes are a great way to keep curious little hands and paws away from the open flame. When Stella was little, I was very mindful about teaching her about fire safety and candles and not touching open flames and wax and things like that. But kids are curious anyway, so always making sure that you have your candles high up and in a hurricane is a great way to protect your kids. Also, if you happen to burn candles on coffee tables, like I do, here's something to think about. If you have a taller dog, for example, my mom has this horse dog by the name of Wolfgang. He was supposed to be a mini Aussie Doo, which is an Australian Shepherd and Lab mix. I don't know how combining those two was supposed to equal a mini anything, but he's the size of a Clydesdale, right? Like, he's a very tall, large dog. so lovely, so cute, sweet, just adorable. But he also has a tail that is massive. It's long and it has a lot of luscious fur hanging off of it. And my mom can no longer have anything on her coffee table because Wolfie doesn't mean to do it, but you know, he's just walking around living his best life and his tail is happy and wagging from side to side, and it just knocks stuff off of my mom's tables all the time. Her end tables, her coffee tables, like he is forever just, you know, sweeping things off the table. So my mom used to light candles on her coffee table. She cannot do that anymore. And when my mom comes to visit with Wolfie, I cannot light candles on my coffee tables unless I put them in a hurricane. Wolfie's tail is much less likely to, you know, hit the open flame when it's protected by glass. Versus if I just have it sitting in or on a pedestal like that is on a Homeworks candle pedestal there. I also cannot turn on my warmers because he'll also sweep those off just by casually just walking around, right? So if you have pets, if you have kids, I think hurricanes are a smart thing to think about investing in. I just think protecting your kids and your animals from the open flame is something that's really, really important. And the last thing that I want to mention here is just the aesthetics, right? Like I purchase a lot of my hurricanes because I think they're beautiful. I utilize them year round as a part of my home decor. They can be a really great way to showcase your candles. If you are a collector, maybe you like a lot of like really high-end candles that come in beautiful vessels and you want to really show those off. A hurricane is a beautiful way to do that. And like I said, there's so many different styles, so many different options, colors, what materials available when it comes to hurricanes. You're bound to find something that speaks to your unique aesthetic desires. And yeah, like decorate with your candles. Like I do it all the time and I love it. So anyway, those I think are just a few of the key reasons why you might want to think about investing in a hurricane and incorporating that into your home fragrance arsenal, if you will. But now I want to show you guys how I clean my hurricanes and the product that I found that really gives me the best results. I used to be a Windex girl, rather yet I use the Method glass cleaner, but yeah, I used to just use like a Windex type product to wipe out my hurricanes. But now I'm using something else and it gives the most gorgeous streak-free shine. So we'll go ahead and demo that. If you're gonna ask me how often I do this to my hurricanes, I will typically clean my glass hurricanes, not on a weekly basis, but definitely every other week. Or when they start to get really kind of cloudy or smoky on the inside, I will definitely take the time to wash them. But it usually only takes me about 15 minutes max to clean all of my glass hurricanes, and they look absolutely stunning afterwards. So I'm gonna show you guys with the London hurricane here because like I said, this one lives in my backyard. It's pretty dirty right now. There's a bunch of pollen in the bottom. There's some streaks, there's, yeah, it's pretty messy. So let's go ahead and go into the kitchen and I'm gonna show you guys how I clean my hurricanes. Okay guys, welcome to my kitchen sink where we are going to wash the London hurricane from Crate & Barrel. Before we get into that, I want to show you what I used to use. This is the Method glass and surface cleaner. I would use this with a microfiber cloth and that worked pretty great, but I would still see some streaks here and there. And I really like it when my glass is like sparkling clean. So someone not in the candle world was telling me about their love of the Dawn Platinum Plus Power Wash Dish Spray. Honestly, I'm kind of you can see here, I'm kind of a Mrs. Meyer's girl when it comes to my dish soap and like surface cleaner products. But I decided to go ahead and just randomly pick this up. And you guys, what a game changer. This is such a game changer for cleaning glass. So I'm gonna use this to clean this hurricane and it is going to come out sparkling clean. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just rinse this out a little bit and get the glass all wet. Okay. Then I'm going to take a wet paper towel, and this is what I'm gonna use to clean this. I have a sponge that I use for my dishes, but I don't wanna, you know, get soot or whatever all over that sponge. So I'll just use a paper towel. But you just basically take a couple sprays of this and spray it on the inside, and then take your wet paper towel and just wash the inside like you would any other glass piece or any other glass dish. This just immediately like takes everything off. Any soot, any like pollen streaks or fingerprints or anything like that. I'll also clean the outside just by going around a couple times. And then I like to clean this pedestal part here as well, because this will collect quite a bit of pollen outside. So after that, obviously, all you have to do is just rinse this really well. Get all of that soap off of there. Let's do one more. Rinse the soap off. This bottom portion here as well. And then one more for good measure. And then I'm just gonna turn off the water here. I am literally setting this on a towel to air dry. I found that that has been the best for preventing like streaks and stuff. I just basically will let this air dry now, but super fast, super easy. And on the days where I am cleaning my hurricanes, I just kind of line them all up here and wash, and then place them over on this side to air dry. And then I'm good to go for a week. But it literally, like, so clean. Just everything is gone. All that pollen, all that soot, everything is good to go. So anyway, if you have not tried this power wash to clean your hurricanes, I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. But anyway, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks so much for being here for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.